everyone, it's Ivy and welcome back to my channel. So for this week's video, I'm going to be doing my podcast recommendation. So my commute to work is a bit over an hour each way, so that gives me a lot of time to listen to podcasts while I drive, and that's the main time that I use to listen to podcasts. I listen to all my podcasts on Spotify, so I download them before I hop in the car, just so then when I have no reception on my drive, I can still listen without interruption. So I'm going to be breaking up this video into a couple of different categories of podcasts. So I have my everyday and news podcasts. I've got property, personal finance, sort of general information, and then podcast just for entertainment. Before we start, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel because that would really support me. And we'll get into the video. So the first category are my everyday and news related podcasts. So I listen to these ones every weekday. And the first one is called Squiz Today. So they're usually about 10 minutes each, and they're available Monday to Friday, and they're just the highlights of the news. So it gives me a really quick update of what's going on in the world, in Australia, and I find that it goes quite into depth even though it's only 10 minutes. So a similar news related podcast is from news.com.au. So it's shorter, it's around 5 minutes, but they have one in the morning and one in the afternoon. I don't listen to this as much anymore because I was finding the content was overlapping between news.com.au and Squiz Today, and I just prefer the Squiz Today podcast. The next one that I listen to every weekday is business news related. So it's called What the Flux, and they just go through the top 3 highlights of business related news that's happened throughout the week or the day before, and they actually explain it a little bit more, so it's not just a bunch of jargon that you can't understand. They make it quite relatable, and I find it really easy to listen to. So the third one that I listen to is called The Health Code Daily. So it's by Sarah's Day and her husband Kurt, who are on YouTube, and the episodes are around 5 to 10 minutes, and there's a different theme every day, and it's kind of just fun commentary, some tips and tricks that they have, and I find their dynamic really entertaining to listen to. The next podcast that I listen to on a weekly basis is called Asian Boss Girl. The episodes come out every Friday, and it's 3 Asian American women, and they're chatting about their life experiences. I find it highly relatable. They're in their late 20s and early 30s. And they have great chemistry with each other. It reminds me of me talking to my friends, and they go through different topics every week, and they discuss really great things. Since finishing uni as well, I've gotten into personal finance, and the 2 personal finance podcasts I recommend are called She's on the Money and My Millennial Money. So for She's on the Money, they have episodes 3 times a week. I mainly just listen to the Monday and the Wednesday ones. The Monday episode is a money diary, so they chat to people in the She's on the Money community just about their money stories, which I find really interesting. And then Wednesday is a deep dive, so they talk about different things such as super, investing, etc. For My Millennial Money, they do a lot of Q&As. They talk about shares, investing, how to save money. Different vibe to She's on the Money, but still a great way to get into personal finance, and they really go through all the basics of personal finance. So the property podcasts that I listen to are Property Playbook and My Millennial Property. So Property Playbook's done by the same woman who does She's on the Money, and it's a really good beginner guide of how to buy a property. So it's really good A to Z of everything you need to know. For My Millennial Property, it's under the same umbrella as My Millennial Money, but they do it for property. So they do a lot of Q&As. It's a bit more detailed and a bit more into the nitty gritty of buying a property in terms of where do you want to buy, what should you look for, and things like that. The next 2 podcasts that I would recommend are called The Daily by the New York Times and Today Explained by Vox. They are American based, and they do maybe 30 to 40 minute episodes about what's going on in the world. So they do things from pop culture just general news, and it goes more into depth than just the highlights. So they did one on Squid Game and how popular it is. They did one on the US leaving Afghanistan. But because it is US based, it's obviously content related to the US. And the last two that I like to listen to just for entertainment are podcasts done by YouTubers. So I do watch a lot of YouTube, and that's kind of what inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. And a few of the YouTubers that I watch started a podcast. So one of them is called Pretty Basic. So it's Remy and Alicia, and they just do commentary about their life, experiences, pop culture, just what's going on in their life. And then the next one is called Wild Till 9. So it's Law DIY and her boyfriend Jeremy. And again, it's commentary about what's going on in their life, and the dynamic between them for both podcasts are really entertaining to listen to. So those are my podcast recommendations and the ones that I listen to on a weekly basis. Please comment down below the podcasts you listen to. And please let me know if you like this style of video, like a sit down chatty type of video. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll leave links down below of the podcast. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.